Pam Bondi is officially out as Attorney General, and all I have to say about it is this: good riddance. Trump released a statement confirming that she's leaving, calling her a great American patriot and a loyal friend, before adding that she's transitioning to a role in the private sector. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will take over as interim until a new AG is appointed. But why was she fired? Early reports say that she was caught leaking information to Democrat Congressman and California gubernatorial candidate Eric Swalwell about the investigation into his relationship with known Chinese spy Fang Fang. What exactly she leaked is unclear, but if it's true that she was leaking sensitive information, it's no surprise that she got fired. The real question is why she hadn't been fired long ago. The Attorney General's office was a mess under her leadership. They missed deadlines and apparently sent demand letters to the wrong state officials while investigating voter fraud, so yeah, a mess. But those kinds of things could be chalked up to lower level employees making mistakes, so that wouldn't get someone like her canned. Pam Bondi herself, however, made two grave mistakes, each of which should have gotten her fired. The first was her handling of the Epstein case. Way back in Trump's first month in office, Pam Bondi went on Fox News and claimed that the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president.
Now, what probably happened there is that she was just saying that the Epstein files were on her desk, but it sure sounded like she was claiming that she had an actual client list, the famed little black book, right there, waiting for her to look at. It was a clunky answer to a loaded question, so fine, I can look past that. But it's what she did next that should have gotten her fired. Instead of just admitting that she misspoke, over the next few months, as people kept clamoring for the list, she decided to go after Kash Patel, claiming that the FBI was withholding information about Epstein from the DOJ. She could have just said, yeah, I phrased that wrong, and walked it back, but instead she turned it into a deep state conspiracy where she was the victim, and in the process, she threw Kash Patel under the bus. Then came the Epstein influencer event. She invited a bunch of online conservative influencers to the White House for a special Epstein release moment. She hyped it up, telling them that they were about to get access to Epstein files that nobody had ever seen before. All these influencers showed up, she gave a little speech acting like she was unveiling something huge, and then handed them thick binders supposedly with the Epstein material inside. When they actually dug through them, they realized that there was nothing new at all. Everything in there was recycled court filings, old flight logs, and redacted contact lists that had already been floating around for years. When that happened, it just showed me that she wanted the spotlight. The whole thing was her refusal to admit that she was wrong. And by continuing to fan the conspiracy flames around Epstein, she kept the camera on herself. She could have just come out and said that she misspoke on Fox News and that she didn't actually have a client list. Instead, she blamed Kash Patel for covering it up and then acted like she was going to release that list to a bunch of influencers and ultimately failed to produce anything new. She made herself the face of the Epstein rollout, and in doing so, she wound up convincing millions that the government is hiding something from us. What started as a publicity stunt turned into even deeper distrust in the government, especially among young people who are watching this whole circus play out online. At that moment, Trump should have recognized her ego and gotten rid of her. He can't afford people who care more about making a name for themselves than quietly helping the administration do its job, especially in the Attorney General's office. The other time Trump should have gotten rid of her was a completely different situation. On September 15th, she claimed in a podcast that she would go after hate speech.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society. We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
This is insane because it's exactly the kind of thing that conservatives have been fighting against for years. Democrats have long wanted to create a special category of speech called hate speech that they can punish, and Republicans have warned against that for good reason. If you decide that hate speech is illegal, then who gets to decide what counts as hate speech? There already are some forms of constitutionally unprotected speech, like fighting words, which are words that are meant to and are reasonably likely to incite someone to violence. But hate speech is different because it is far more subjective. Hate speech laws can very easily turn into laws against speech that we don't like. And no matter who is in power, that can be really dangerous. If you claim that boys can't become girls, Democrats could call that hate speech and try to jail you. Flip the script. If a Democrat says that Trump is literally a Nazi, Republicans could call that hate speech and try to jail them. Once you accept hate speech as a category that the government can officially target, you're on a slippery slope toward real authoritarianism from either side. An attorney general who wants to police hate speech is an attorney general that should have been shoved out the door long ago. Going forward, I'm confident that Trump will appoint a good attorney general. Early reports suggest that he's targeting Lee Zeldin for the role. Zeldin earned his law degree at 23 years old and then served about 20 years in the military, deploying to Iraq in 2006. He's currently the EPA administrator. I'm confident that someone with that kind of background won't be looking to make himself the star of the show, and certainly won't be chasing after so-called hate speech. Subscribe and like the video for more from me. I'm trying to build a brand based around honest, reasonable takes, not the performative outrage you get from so many online these days on both sides of the political aisle. If that sounds like something you want, hit subscribe for more content and head over to my Substack to get new releases emailed directly to you. With that, I'll see you next time. Thank you.